What is going on, guys? My name is Ritz. Welcome to a new series I would like to call TMI. I'm pretty well known for oversharing, and this is kind of a way that I can do it on YouTube and structure it maybe a little bit, or not, whatever. I'm just gonna let you guys know a little bit about my life, advice, etc., things that I've learned in this weird little life that I've had. And the first topic is roommates, based on a comment I got about a week ago, and I'm gonna go over my experience with the roommates post-college, because I didn't have roommates in college, and what I've learned from the people that I know who had roommates like in my dorm. Let's get started. My first 2 years of college were pretty mundane. I had a single room. I lived in my room and never really left. I was kind of a shy kid. I'm very much introverted in that respect, that I spend a lot of time in my room. I lived in an all-male dorm, and it was ridiculous. There was just shenanigans all the time. They'd do like workouts in the hall sometimes for who knows why, but there's also a lot of hall sports, and it drove me nuts. They would often play hall lacrosse and like soccer in the hall, and it like hit each other's doors and everything, and just like be really obnoxious. And I got really sick and tired of it, so I started playing my music. Let's just say my musical choices are some that a lot of people don't like. Yeah, kind of like that, but I kind of would blast that when they were doing that and hitting my door a bunch, and surprisingly, they went out to the quad and played out in the grass where it's sunny and not inside doors. Makes sense. I've learned that there's a couple different types of people who actually go to college in their roommates situations. The first one is like the best friends. They go to college, going to college as best friends, and usually they don't actually stay that way. Usually they start to like dislike each other by midway through the year, and then by the end of the year they decide to go be roommates with other people. The thing is that when you know someone from school, from high school or whatever, and you know them going to college and you go to room with them, you know them from their past, and a lot of people try to become a different person at college, and they try to be more mature, or be the partier, or whatever, and it doesn't always work out for people as well as you would expect. Two of them were very different. We'll call one guy B, we'll call the other guy N. So, B was very studious and very smart, and, this is a Catholic, I went to Catholic school, so, he was also very Catholic, and he's very kind of like set in his ways, but he's good friends with N, and when N went to school, he's a partier. He got drunk all the time freshman year, which I don't really recommend. And so N would go out and party and then get picked up by public safety and get in a bunch of trouble. And one of the days, I woke up at 7 o'clock and he was knocking on my door, and I was like, "What the hell, N? What are you doing?" And he just kind of like, "Nah," and pointed to a dude standing there, and I'm like, "What's up?" And he was like, "You need to pay for his taxi," and I'm like, "Taxi? What? What are you talking about?" Basically, N had gotten drunk at a training event thing to join one of the sports teams. It's like Division 1s. It was kind of a big deal or whatever. I don't know. And he got so drunk that he was stumbling back to school, passed out on school grounds. A security guard saw him, called an ambulance. They took him to a hospital. He woke up, had all these things in him, ripped out all of the little like tab things and the IVs, and ran out before they got his name because he didn't have his wallet on him. He didn't have his wallet, he didn't have his ID, he didn't have his key to get into his room. So he somehow made his way, got a taxi all the way back to the dorms, and then his roommate wouldn't wake up and no one else would wake up, so he went to me, and I had to pay for the taxi, and then he just passed out on the floor. N was a very interesting individual, we will say. There's also roommates that you might not actually get along with. So my buddy Mark had a roommate who would only sit in his room and play World of Warcraft on his computer, and that was it. He would go to classes, come back, play WoW, and then go get food, play WoW. He did nothing else. He would hardly sleep. He and Mark never talked. They talked, I think, the first day that they moved in, realized that they're very different people. Mark's more of a partier, and his roommate was very much not a partier, which is totally cool. You can kind of do whatever. But if you're not that similar to your roommate, it's going to be okay if you don't get along. You don't have to get along. It's just a place where you sleep. And you don't even have to study there. You can go study at the library or one of the study rooms or on the quad or whatever. Wherever you go, you can find a place to go if you're sharing space with someone, if you need another area to hang out. So besides that, when you're actually living in a dorm on campus, just know that you don't really have to be best friends with your roommate. If you are, great. If not, whatever. You know, you can come in with being best friends. You might meet your best friend and that's your roommate for all 4 years of college. It really depends on the situation, but just make sure you have like rules and stuff set for what you want to do and what your expectations are of one another. And if that's to like never talk and just keep to yourselves and be quiet, go for it. If that's you guys gonna go together and you know the 7 to 8 is your time to bring lady friends over, and then 8 to 9 is their time to bring male friends over, then totally, yeah, you know, whatever works. You know, just set it up early and respect each other's privacy and respect each other's lifestyle, because they're very different people. I was sharing a room with a couple that were actually married right after I left college, and oh buddy, was that maybe a mistake. I would wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning to them having sex on my bed, with me on my bed. And it was a twin bed. It's not like it was a king bed, and I was over in the corner, over here, and they're like here doing their thing. It's like I'm right here, and they're like on the why? Have some respect. Why? Yeah, that's about all I have to say about that. Just have some respect. If you're gonna have friends over, let them know. They could have asked me. Well, 5 a.m. is still ridiculous. They could have been like, hey, Ritz, do you mind, you know, going out to the living room for a while so we can have some intimate moments? And I would have been like, sure, no problem. But they didn't. That was rude. One of the things is they were complete slobs. There was clothing and old food and trash and nail clippings and dirt and dust bunnies. Are you getting the picture? Just all over the floor, everywhere. Every square inch just had something. The first night I moved in, before I got a bed, they told me, oh, just sleep on the floor. You'll be fine. I took off my shoes and I put my sock down, and I felt just a bunch of stuff on the floor, and I was like, nope, I'm gonna go sleep on, you know, the couch. I'll be back tomorrow when I get a bed and go do that instead. And so I got a bed, and that was a little bit easier, but then of course sex happens. With all the trash and disgustingness, is you have to let people know that you need things clean. If you're a clean person, you want things clean, let them know and be very adamant on it and get on people's ass and just be like, look, I need this done, because I'm not gonna sit here and have trash with Hot Pocket remains on the floor for a week. That's not no. And I'm not cleaning up your mess, because that's even worse. Personally, I don't like cleaning up people's messes. I'll clean up my own as just like, if it's a horrible mess, I'll clean it up. If someone else's mess, why am I cleaning up after you? You're an adult. Let it be known that my roommates at these times were late 20s, early 30s. I was easily the youngest person there, and the one who took the most responsibility in trying to get shit done, and it never happened. The other thing was they had a cat. Well, they had 2 cats. The one cat would pee on everything. Peed on my old headphones, peed on my Xbox Connect sensor, peed on some clothes of mine, also pooped on some clothes of mine, but, you know, we had a washer and dryer at least. They never cleaned the kitty litter, ever. For the first month I was there, I never saw it cleaned. There was poop on the floor, which was next to the bathroom, so it smelled disgusting, and I would tell the one roommate, hey, clean the kitty litter. Oh no, it's their turn. Go to them, hey, can you clean the kitty litter? It's kind of gross. You know, you don't have a pet, so you don't know what it's like to actually raise a pet. You know, I will do what I want with my pet, and I'm like, can you make it so the house doesn't smell like shit? Great. No, oh, okay. Another problem we had was rent. Rent was kind of an issue. Make sure you discuss it before you move in, because I went in for 1 month and paid one thing, and then the next month they asked me to pay twice that, and that's when I said, no, I'm leaving. The second place I lived at, most everyone kept to themselves. My buddy Mike, who I was sharing the bedroom with, never really came home. He always would crash at other people's houses over his own lady friends, and never came home that often. So it was nice for me because I was able to pay very low rent because we shared a room, and I was able to, you know, keep mostly to myself because the bedroom was mine at that point. He came home once a week, and then, you know, we shared a room once a week, and then the rest of the week it was totally my place, and I could kind of do what I wanted. It was really, really nice and handy, and I don't expect that to happen like ever. But the other 2 roommates kept to themselves as well. They each had their own bedroom. We shared a bathroom. The biggest, you know, problem I had with sharing space was them going into the bathroom, and I had to go pee because there's one bathroom, and they wanted to shower, and I'm like, oh my god, I have to pee, please. It was also in Oakland, so it wasn't the nicest of areas at the time. The third place that I lived at, I actually lived with the couple that I'd shared the room with. They had their own room. The roommate that I shared a room with at the second house, and then another person. The couple took over the entire living room, and I eventually just took anything that I had put out there to share space and moved it all back into my bedroom, which is actually when I started making YouTube videos. One of the biggest problems I had there was they invited guests over without my knowledge, and you would have expected, you know, if you're gonna have guests over, you'd close the rooms so you don't want people going into them. That's it. So I invited 6 or 7 guests over to play games, and when I came home at midnight, when I was finally done with work, there was 2 people in my room kind of doing stuff, and let's just say I was very, very upset. One of the problems is loud no matter what time. When I was there, I'd get home at midnight, and, you know, I'd try to be quiet and go to bed, because I'd have to either get up. I would sometimes work split shifts, so I'd have to work at 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., and then I'd work 4 p.m., or no, I'd work 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. So I'd have to work a double shift with a little bit of split between, and it was a 2-hour commute there and back. So I'd have to leave to get to work at 8 a.m., and I'd get home at midnight. It would be horrible. So when I was going to go to sleep, I wanted to get some sleep because I had to work a lot, and I worked a lot. I worked hard and a lot, and my roommates originally were kind of okay with keeping it quiet during, you know, midnight to 8, basically when I got home to when I had to get up for work the next day. They were originally very cool about being quiet, but a little bit later on, they started having more parties that went later and later until 2 or 3 in the morning, and I had to just keep reminding them, like, hey, I live here too, I pay rent here too, please respect me and let me sleep. It would be fantastic. Please. Like I said before, make sure you have rules and regulations like set before you move in, or like when you move in, and be like, this is what I expect of you guys, and you can expect this of me, and then we can be totally cool, and then things will go off without a hitch. And if that doesn't work out, be like, hey, you know, you agreed to this, or like have them sign a contract or something. Like, you have to be very much adults about things, because you are adults. At the end of the day, you're all adults that don't have your own individual lives, and sharing a place with that can get stressful and complicated when you're very conflicting personalities. I guess my advice for everything, guys, is if you're going off to college and getting roommates, or, you know, out of college and getting roommates, make sure you set your guidelines and rules and everything before you move in and early, so that people can hold on to them and you won't have ridiculous roommates like I had. And maybe things will go a little bit smoother, because now I live on my own and I don't want a roommate anytime soon. If you guys have any suggestions for the topic I cover next week, please leave them down in the comment section down below. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe to me if you are new here and you like these kind of weird things, along with my gaming things, because why not do everything? Yes. As always, guys, my name is Ritz, and I'll see you all next time. Peace out.